Alright, what you see here is a Hunter Stratford 2 ceiling fan in 44 inches. It's in textured white finish, and I got this at Habitat last Friday with Randy Johnson. It's actually my first ceiling fan I picked up at a Habitat, so I'm pretty excited about that. Also, more excited that it's actually a fan I've actually wanted since I was a kid, so there's that. The fan's in pretty good shape. I paid $20 for the fan. Runs great. No issues with it at all. Dead silent. And it's a very nice fan. It's one of the more newer Hunter fans from the 2000s that I actually do like enough to own. A lot of them I thought looked too similar, but this one I just like the look of it. It has a basic Hunter, generic Hunter look from the 2000s, but also has a nice light on it that I think makes it look nice for any room. Back when these first came out, I could always picture them being installed in a kitchen, living room, dining room, bedroom, any room that you can, basically any room in the house. I think these fans would look nice in. Like it didn't have like a certain look. I think it was just a fan that would look good in any room, no matter where you put it. Of course, if it matched, that is. But yeah. Now these were basically Home Depot exclusive fans back when they were still being made. There was the Stratford, or the original Stratford, the Stratford 2, which is what you see here. And then there was a third version called the Stratford, not Stratford 1. Basically the same thing as this, except it made a few changes to it. The shade was a little bit different. Didn't have like that gap. It was just like it kind of looks like those schools that you feel like on those tiny Monte Carlo fans and such. And the blades were a bit different shaped. Sort of, kind of had like more of a for those who know what the model of the Hunter Green, which basically had those type of blades, like that was the shape of them. And there's plenty of videos of them on YouTube. You can definitely find them. But that was like when they first started to do the 5-minute models and such. So yeah. Now the finish you see in the blades right here are white oak, which I think is a lot nicer than bleached oak. But it also depends on the room. But yeah. And it's a very nice fan. I do like it. A lot of people don't seem to like these, mostly for the light kit. I mean, just because they think it looks too modern. I used to see a lot of fans that had these type of light kits as a kid, so I don't really mind it. But I always just thought they were, I don't know, I've always liked these type of light kits as a kid. But yeah, it's a very well-made fan, especially one that was so exclusive as a home center fan. And there's the Hunter logo right here. Show it to light. The fan is from the 6th week of 2005. So this year it's basically 12 years old. It doesn't even look that old, to be honest, but yeah. And do excuse the people on next door, they are having a get-together tonight. So yeah. Fans finish. Well, since I had the white oak blades, so you can definitely see the texture, like basically the textured white finish, a lot better. Especially Utah, I know you wanted to see it. And with the white side, it was not as easy to show. Basically, it just looks like texture that you see on the ceiling and such. Yeah. Let me go ahead and turn off the light above me and see how well it lights up the room. Lights up the room pretty well. It does have 2 light bulbs in it, so it's definitely not the worst, but I've seen better. And something I do want to mention before I start the fan off is, as you guys can tell, the blades are definitely a bit droopy. They're kind of drooping upwards and such, and that's because basically, I'm guessing whoever owned this fan previously, they had it, or wherever it was installed originally, I guess it was not used for a long time. The blades started to droop on it. Something that you don't really see too much on fans of this size, but it does happen. Let me go start off on no. And for the fan this size, it's actually a pretty good air mover, as you guys will see when I move it up to high speed. Or if you haven't seen a video of it with the white blades. I definitely would love to find one in brushed nickel, 44 inch or 52 inch one, but I'd also love to find a 52 inch version of the textured white model. There's a few of the Hunter fans from the 2000s I actually do like quite a bit, and Stratford's 1 and 2 are one of them. Yeah, it's definitely a nice fan. It has a good low speed to it, not too fast, not too slow, but about an average low speed I'd see on a fan of this size. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show it to white while it's on no speed. And I am using 2 LED light bulbs in there as well. But I'm not going to be showing it on reverse only because the fan's actually sitting on the down rod partially. It is sitting on the canopy, but a little bit of the down rod is sticking out a little bit, so it is kind of a bit, so it will like bounce around a bit if I was put on reverse. Or more specifically, it will spin on its own. So I just want to avoid that from happening. Alright, now for medium. As you saw, it did move on its own. And off camera, I did, before I flipped over the blades to the white oak side, I did put on reverse to see if it would move on its own. It did, and pretty violently, so I just want to avoid that from happening. Luckily, I was able to use both of my hands to hold it back into place, but with one hand, it would definitely be very tricky, so I don't want to risk damaging the fan. Or have it spin off on its own very quick to the point that it could hit something. If it was wilted, I know a lot of you guys would love to see that, but yeah, not going to happen with this one. It definitely has a good medium speed to it. If I also installed it somewhere, I'd probably put it in the kitchen, especially if the kitchen is very up to date looking. Just because I think it would would go pretty well with that kitchen. I would try to find something that's more vintage looking, but if it really just needs if the fan that would look best in there is a modern one instead of a vintage one, I would have to go for modern fan. But yeah. We'll see what happens. Honestly, like if I had a brushed nickel version of this fan at 52 inches, I'd possibly put it in the kitchen here with the reddish, the darker blades facing down, just so it won't be like a big difference between a living room fan. But if it was a brushed nickel Stratford 1, that would even be more. That would actually be something I prefer instead. I'll show it to white. Medium speed. After this video, fortunately, I'm probably just going to put it down in the basement. I like it, but it's a small enough fan that can definitely fit down there. And also, just type of like it'll be tricky to store underneath the bed and such without getting it damaged. So, but also the finish of this fan I think will hold up pretty well down in the basement. The shade I'm keeping up here though. Yep. Now for high speed. Here's high. Definitely goes pretty fast on high speed, especially for a fan of this size. A lot of fans, 42 inch fans, some of you have noticed that you don't really go too fast. This one definitely does have a good high speed to it. And it also definitely moves very good air as well. And it definitely If I was to install this in my bedroom, even though it's a 44-inch fan, I honestly feel like this would be a good enough fan for this room, just because it moves that. It definitely moves a good amount of air. Very comparable to a 52-inch Hunter, spin motor Hunter fan, to be honest. But this will definitely be like a kitchen fan, like a Hunter kitchen fan that I wouldn't have any issue installing, to be honest. Especially if it has like the 90s looking counter, like basically like my grandmother's kitchen, or like, it's not hard to describe, but Brian Peterson, if you're watching this video, the kitchen that you have, something like that, I would definitely put something like this up in there. That's somewhere of like a mid 2000s look to it, I guess, or like 90s, early 2000s look, something like that. I would definitely install this in. Or even the kitchen that's a bit modern looking, like today's. Or like the one that I have in this apartment. Definitely was a good amount of air though. When I first tested with the white ones, I wasn't even expecting it to be this powerful. I thought it was going to be like around close to breeze air movement somewhat. Definitely a lot more powerful than that, to be honest. Oh my god, I'm sure I'm close to white. Definitely one of my favorite fans from the 2000s. Like 100 that is. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and shut out the light. Now the fan. Go ahead and do spin down. Spin on this fan shouldn't be too long, but it's like a minute at most. I feel like this fan honestly came out of a kitchen, possibly, only because the top side, the white oak side of the blades and the corners kind of had grease stains. It was a bit greasy, but not to the point that it was sticky. The same thing with the top of the motor. But whatever kitchen it was in, it was definitely in one that wasn't at the edge, kept clean. They probably had an extractor just like my kitchen does. So I really do feel like that this fan was installed in the kitchen, to be honest. However, at least whoever owned it before, they definitely took care of this fan. And of course, I'll take care of it as well. Definitely next, I'll go for a brush-nickel version next, or the 52-inch version of this. Either one will be fine with me. I'm definitely glad to have one of these and should check off the 44-inch textured white version off the list. And it's come to a complete stop. But it seems like position as when I started the video as well. Pretty interesting. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.